71-year-old Bill Belichick has been hooking up with a 24-year-old hot little thing named Jordon Hudson for the better part of a year at this point in time. Now, okay, as everybody was pointing in the early stages of their, relationship going public, oh, look at this lecherous old man, there's just about a 50-year-old age gap. What's wrong with you people? Well, it's two consenting age adults. What the hell is wrong with that stuff? Okay, it makes a lot of sense why you'd have a 24-year-old lusting after a 71-year-old, especially as accomplished as Bill Belichick is. He's the most decorated coach in NFL history. He's got not one, not two, but 8 Super Bowl titles. Obviously, he was head coach for 6 of those under his belt and on his fingers in this case, and, depending on her fetishes, potentially in other places. So, yeah, it made a lot of sense that his success and the connections that he's accrued over time would lead to an in with somebody his 5-decade junior. I didn't have any problem with this at the beginning, obviously because I look at, Bill Belichick at that point in time and go, you know what, that's life goals right there. But now we're at the unfortunate conclusion that, it's not exactly all sunshine and happiness. This isn't one of those situations where, you got a guy who's, a master in one field, ergo a master in all fields. No. You got somebody who's hyper-focused in one area and is oblivious in others. We see this with athletes all the goddamn time. They dedicate their entire life to their craft, but then you get this predatory woman who's just coming along, and then they end up sideswiping them. And as methodical and deliberate as Bill Belichick is, as his focus on defense, for him to just be sideswiped like this, I mean, it's very much a cautionary tale that the old lonely man archetype, that fear that tradcons want to go ahead and drive into the skulls of young men to just send them off like sheeps to slaughter, that you need to go out there, you need to wife up some chick that may or may not like you all that much and that just simply wants to consolidate after her good old-fashioned party years where she's fucked the entire town, but now she's going to make you wait for some used up box. And then when she ends up securing the bag, where you end up getting down on one knee, offering her everything that you own, giving her a couple of kids, and now she has a reason to milk you for the next 18 years, and then in the case of alimony and no-fault divorce, potentially for the rest of your ill-gotten life. Yeah, no. Just go ahead and go out there and wife up these hoes because, everybody's gonna be, party to that whole Norman Rockwell end of life. Oh, I just wanna pass away in a hospital bed surrounded by my loved ones. Here's the cold hard facts. Okay, most people are gonna fucking die in their sleep when nobody realizes it. You could end up going the way of Gene Hackman, unfortunately. You could end up like Carl Weathers, just passing away in the middle of the night. You could go out like how many thousands of other people, just like that. Close family friend last winter. Healthy man, in his 50s, fucking massive heart attack, dies. Leaves behind 2 adult children and a daughter in her late teens. Just like that, just gone. Unceremoniously. Did everything right in life. Atoned for his sins of his youth, and then just unceremoniously just gets fucking wiped out in an instant. All of you simps, all of you blue-pilled idiots still living under these old world interpretation that, I just, I don't want to be lonely when I'm an old man. Men and women aren't the same. You have spinsters. Because women find fulfillment in people. Men find fulfillment in accomplishments. That's why Bill Belichick is taken University of North Carolina coaching gig after dominating the NFL for the better part of 3 decades. That's why he's still involved in the game at 71 years old. And that's why Jordon Hudson is getting exposed at 24 years old as being a predatory gold digger. And please, I implore you, use this as the example. Bill Belichick's 24-year-old girlfriend, Jordon Hudson, stormed out of a CBS interview at one point and expected him to follow, according to TMZ Sports. The couple went viral over the past weekend, when Hudson interrupted Belichick's interview. The outlet says Hudson even interrupted and corrected the coach, I beg your pardon, when he was answering questions about football. Fucking what? Oh, there is a very, very, very short list of people that I would go ahead and allow to critique anything that Bill Belichick had to say about football, but a 24-year-old spinner is not on that list. What are you doing? Even when the legendary coach was answering questions about football, she would not she would stop and correct him. Hudson reportedly delayed the interview by 30 minutes at one point when she stormed out of the room. It's unclear if Belichick followed her because, yeah, now we got to follow up on this stuff. And alarmed by CBS disaster, Bill Belichick insiders say girlfriend Jordon Hudson is a runaway train. Dude, I understand. And we got several pictures that are down here, okay? You're 71. You think that this is the baddest piece of ass that you're likely to get towards the end of your life, and you don't want to mess this up, okay? But you look at her, okay? She is, it's the telltale signs of a groupie. She's there because of what you have. She's the Anna Nicole Smith, and that's an ancient reference at this point in time, for NFL head coaches. I don't know what her past is all about, but bro, everything that she does is showing herself off to be a part of her next relationship. And you're just there smiling and grinning, look at my arm candy. Meanwhile, she's plotting your demise. But even before this past weekend's embarrassing CBS interview in which Jordon Hudson made it clear who wears the pants in her romance with Bill Belichick, the legendary football coach's friends were shaking their heads. One insider told the Post, bro, okay, this is the exact same shit, because we talked about this, what is it, 2-3 years ago at this point in time, with Tom Brady, somebody who is, very, very integral to the success of Bill Belichick. You know, he ended up going through this stuff with stupid Giselle, who got knocked up by a Brazilian jiu-jitsu coach. Meanwhile, Tom Brady is fucking living it up and still as popular as ever. You don't have the mindset. It doesn't matter what you accomplished. These predatory women will still find you and drain you in more ways than what you're hoping they will. She saw an opening and she took it. Oh yeah, and just coming back to the whole fans, right? Or I'm sorry, her friends. They're all talking about him. They are talking, now there we go, to him about her, but very gently, because they know how deep he is in. Oh, Jesus Christ. Again, lonely old man syndrome. The same thing that, guys in loveless marriages go through. Oh, it's cheaper to keep her. All that cope that's out there. But if your friends aren't vocal about, for the lack of a better term, a toxic relationship, they aren't your friends. She saw an opening and she took it, the insider added at how Hudson, 24, has inserted herself into every aspect of the 73. Okay, I was underselling his age. I thought he was 71. Not like it really makes a difference. Your boyfriend's life and career. The consensus among people around Belichick, another source said, is that the relationship is alarming and Hudson is a runaway train. She had been heavily criticized and mocked after interviewing with the former Patriots coach interview with CBS Sunday Morning about his new book, The Art of Winning, shutting down the conversation when correspondent Tony, I'll take your word for it, asked how the couple met. What the fuck are we doing here? Okay, you're talking about a book and I can understand. It's like, what does that really have to do with anything? We're not talking about this, Hudson said. $20 on sugaring site. I'm just going to throw it out right there. Or you put herself in certain situations. I don't know, maybe somebody, who's got a grudge against the Patriots. Okay. Maybe Tony Dungy is like, yeah, no, hey man, that's a good girl. I knew her from back in the day. And that's how these floozies end up going around these circles. So maybe that's how it ended up happening. Now, we're not talking about this. Hudson says, it's like, bitch, I'm not talking to you. You fucking put your hoe in a spot, okay, Bill? You were notorious for being hard on your players, just to enforce boundaries here, Bill. No, the interviewer asked while Belichick sat silent. Whoa, no, Hudson emphatically replied. Wow, it was a surprise that CBS chose to keep such an awkward behind-the-scenes moment in the final interview. Hey, man, I know that you guys are going to be going through some hard financial times in the near future, but shout out for you for helping a brother out. But yes, as the interviewer said in a voiceover, Jordon was a constant presence during our interview. In fact, NBC's Sports Pro Football Talk reported, while we don't know the total number of interruptions, it's our understanding that CBS decided to include that one specific instance because it wasn't a one-time thing. Hudson has also made her presence known at the University of North Carolina, where she recently attended spring practice as Bill Belichick prepares for his first season coaching college ball. In March, it was revealed that Belichick wanted Hudson CC'd on all his emails. Oh, man, this is somebody scared of losing what they perceive as the last chance of something like that. Between him and Robbie Pickler Evans, the school senior associate athletic director for external affairs and strategic communications. Should probably tighten that title up just a little bit. I am including Jordon on this email so she can keep up with our postings. Can you include her on anything that you send me? Thanks, BB. Read an email discovered in a FOIA filed by Axios and the Assembly. Well, okay, there's one way, okay? There's one silver bullet where, I can go ahead and, give her the benefit of the doubt, which I'm not going to, at least earnestly, but we can float this idea out there. Is she acting as his personal assistant? Is she going to be scheduling his meetings? Does she actually need to know this stuff? Or is this just a narcissist making sure that, she is the one who has access to Bill, that she is the one that is controlling his every move so that she doesn't end up losing her golden ticket? Perhaps. Hudson was later copied on emails about whether to accept various interview requests. The Assembly reporter Matt Hartman later posted to Pedo Sky. Her email signature, according to The Athletic, says Hudson is Chief Operating Officer of Belichick Productions. Yeah, it just sounds like a fake thing. She was also involved in negotiations with NFL Films about a Hard Knock style documentary infomercial on the Tar Heels. Yes, and Belichick, according to Pro Football Talk. Yeah, that was reported that Hard Knocks was going to have a season on UNC, and then that ended up falling through. It was at the beginning of the year, if I recall correctly. This guy is known for being such a strong voice and in many ways autocratic, and here he is becoming mush in her hands and letting her direct everything, an insider told the Post, as she is so much younger, so inexperienced, and lacking in perspective and professionalism. Oh shit. Yep, gold digger, 1000%. But a woman who has competed alongside Hudson, who's the first runner-up in 2024's Miss Maine USA contest in the pageant, in the pageant world, says the former Bridgewater State cheerleader is ambitious. I mean, come on now. Do we need any more red flags to pop up here? Come on. I'm sure she could probably run a football team easily and compete in high heels and run she did the meme where a woman can do anything that a man can do and they can do it in high heels. But you're talking about running a football team better than the motherfucker who redefined success in the salary cap era. What the fuck are we talking about? Her pageant rivals might not agree with her men choices, but she's very well liked. She's very smart. I could see her being a good businesswoman. That said, his accomplishments overshadow her potential. Yeah, no, that's just catty bitch talk yeah, we know what she's doing. We could see this coming from a mile away. It's just, we kind of thought that Bill would be smarter about that. And the moment that he realizes that, yeah, Jordan's going to have to tell her story walking. Catwalking, if you will. But I think one thing that really, really lends credibility to my lonely old man theory is Bill Belichick ended his relationship with his longtime girlfriend. So he had a long-time steady relationship with Linda Holliday, then 60, in September of 2023. Somebody who could be perceived, to just appease the blue-pilled crowd as more age-appropriate. He hears that reinforced all the time. Hell, the Rob Gronkowski dig at the Tom Brady roast. Coach, you used to talk about Foxborough High School when we sucked, but now I know why you're so obsessed with Foxborough High School. You were scouting your new girlfriend. So yeah, people taking digs like that, and he knows it's like, yeah, well, hey, but I still get to, use her box as my ring cleaner if I'm so inclined. And he is pedestalizing her by addressing her and all of his accomplishments, taking her out to all of these extravagant events that she would have in no other way be attending, making connections and just waiting for him to keel over and for her to inherit everything else. And so, yeah, you end up in a messy situation like this. And he is, yeah, man, over the world. Like, just draw the lines, man. Okay, who's standing upright? Who's leaning in? Who needs the other one more in this relationship? Okay, we know if you just line things up, if you try to make the math, you know who on paper is more valuable. But the blue-pilled conditioning, that blue-pilled mindset will go ahead and crumple and take over even the strongest and most accomplished people. The most decorated head coach of all time and the most decorated quarterback of all time fell afoul of the exact same problems. So it just goes to show you, man, you can't outwork, you can't outtrain a bad mindset. And if you don't kill the inner beta, it'll kill you. Before it's all said and done, it might just end up taking out your career beforehand. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.